Ever since I moved to Lexington for college, the problem of homelessness was apparent. Whether it was getting asked for money or asked what time it is, these encounters led to the investigation of the homeless.
I guess a place wherever my family is and my friends. I mean, it could be a house, it could be anywhere. As long as I got my family, I guess that's where home is.
Home to me is something less physical and more emotional. It's the feeling that you get like when I go back home after college and I walk in the house, see my parents, my dog.
In fact, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines home as one's place of residence, the social unit formed by a family living together, or a familiar or usual setting. The National Law Center on Homelessness and Poverty estimates that each year 2.5 to 3.5 million Americans sleep in shelters, transitional housing, or public places not meant for human habitation. In 2016, the Kentucky Housing Corporation found that there were 4,237 homeless living in our state. Lexington alone holds 1.7% of all of Kentucky's homeless. This is so much that the City Council conducts its own homeless population separate from the Kentucky Housing Corporation. Now that you've got an idea of what homeless rates are like, let's take a look at the leading causes for this pressing issue. Obviously, unemployment and poverty contribute to homelessness a great deal. But another striking find is that mental illness and substance abuse, along with the need for public services, causes homelessness as well. When it comes to mental illness, funding for community resources such as inpatient psychiatric beds and long-term behavioral health facilities have been shrinking for decades. As a result, mental illness does not receive spotlight in the medical field. In fact, there is a widespread shortage of mental health professionals in the United States. Americans with mental illness often find themselves paying higher copayment to insurance companies, allowed fewer doctor visits or days in the hospital, or made to pay higher deductibles than those that apply to other medical illnesses. A common stereotype is that all homeless are either drunks or drug users. The truth is that around 38% of homeless are dependent on alcohol, while 26% are using other drugs. Substance abuse often causes homelessness, as their problems dismantle relationships with family and friends. Those who become dependent often lose their job.
Street, but I depend on the people that's coming off the train because most of them I give them respect. Most of them like me. They come out and give me clothes and food and stuff like this here so I can survive. Give me a few bucks and everything, and I add it up at the end of the day and get me a little room for the night. And whenever I'm not fortunate enough to get the room, I just sleep in the street wherever I can. It's really humiliating to be shaking a cup 24 hours a day and people just look at you like you some kind of little bum, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I have had people to walk past me and say, "Get a job, bum." And I said, "Wait a minute, I'm not a bum, I'm a human being."
Contracting and try to make a lot of money and be part of a society that doesn't even want me no more. Fuck them, Fuck society. That's the way I feel.
Feel that? Why did...
I meet a lot of good people. But I believe there's a lot of good people out there, but for the most part, most people, all they care about is themselves. You could be standing there on the corner bleeding and people just drive by you. And they wouldn't want no part of it. They wouldn't want no part of the drama. But then there'd be 1 in 10 that might stop and help. I walked up to a woman once to ask her what time it was. I was pushing a cart. Me and my wife were pushing our cart. We had all our stuff in a grocery cart. I was pushing. I needed to know what time it was, so I went up to ask this woman what time it was. She's like, "Oh, get away from me. I don't have any money. Leave me alone." I'm like, "I don't want him." She's like, "Just get away from me, go." I'm like, and I'm thinking, what could have this woman been through that she's so terrified of a stranger that what if my wife was pregnant, her water just broke and I needed help? I mean, who knows? What if I was having chest pain and I needed her to call 911? she didn't care. It's just, get away from me. Go. I don't got no money. She thought all I wanted was her money. I just want to know what time it was. And it hurt, man. It's like, damn. People,
It does hurt.
you know, it's like, damn. It's humanity. So many people, what have they been through that makes them so terrified of relationships and people that they just don't want nothing to do with nobody? It's sad. It's
I
really
wasn't
sad.
scared of you when I saw you.
Well, but you're one in a million, you know? I mean, you're actually sitting down and talking to me, you know? Most people don't give a damn. But it's all right. You know, when it comes down to it, I came in this world by myself, and when I die, I'm going to be the only one in that coffin.
As if unemployment, poverty, mental illness, and substance abuse don't already burden those who are homeless enough, there is also the stigma and prejudice against them. This includes being looked down upon by working society, being treated as something less than a human being. If America truly is the land of the free, then this oppression against homeless must end, as a nation that turns its back on any citizen is doing so without moral consideration.